Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dion, and today we're doing a video that is making up or dress outfits as book characters that are sort of made up. They're based on books that I've read, but they don't necessarily exist. They're like a classic spooky book trope, we'll say. This video was suggested to me by a subscriber. I went to my community page and I asked you guys like what fall themed videos do you want to do, and Zev's Cozy Place said cozy fall outfits inspired by books that don't actually exist, you make them up. They said they'd also make a video on this, so you should check them out. And it was inspired by Gelsey Blythe, who did a video called dressing up as main characters from made up A24 films, and I watched that video this morning. I really liked it, and this like prompt really made me just like feel inspired. Like last night I was writing my script and I actually was like, okay, this would be fun. I have a similar video coming up that is like outfits as like horror movie tropes. So like the final girl, the bimbo, like etc. So this is more like book character tropes. So if you like things that are autumnal and spooky, definitely make sure to subscribe to my channel because I post videos every Thursday. And with that, let's get into it. So the first book character trope outfit that I put together was the working class woman with a strong sense of justice. This was very much inspired by the books Rebecca, and Then There Were None, and The Haunting of Maddie Clare. Somewhere between 1920s and 1950s, they don't come from money. They maybe work as a journalist, or they work as a seamstress or something like that. And they really just want to find out what happened to that murdered child all those years ago, or what really happened to that chapel that burned down. They don't have a lot of power. They don't have a lot of money. Maybe they're not that well educated, but something about them is saying what's happening in this town isn't the full truth. They're effortlessly beautiful, but kind of in a plain way, not rich, and they just want to be the most like ethical person and really just like find justice in a town where people are hiding things. And of course, they get into trouble while searching for the truth. I loved the book Rebecca, and Then There Were None, and The Haunting of Maddie Clare, and they all sort of have this trope. It's pretty popular, especially when you look at like, I don't know, I feel like this is a popular trope in like Maggie Smith movies and other movies in that sort of like realm. And I love it. That sort of, I think of Downton Abbey. I think of just these women that might not have a lot of power, but they have a lot of gall, and they're gonna hunt for the truth. They dress formal, but they're sort of like light academia inspired, very vintage, at least in this scenario that I'm thinking of. They dress as professional as they can with the means that they have. Of course, they always look fabulous doing it. Okay, so for this first look, I was definitely very much inspired by the fashion in the Rebecca movie and the cover of The Haunting of Maddie Clare. So I have this Eddie Bauer wool skirt that I thrifted, this like little top that I thrifted from the Vault in Providence, but I doesn't have a tag on it. And I think I want to do something with the waist. So I'm gonna grab this little belt. This was my aunt's, but adds like, I don't know, a little bit more of a formality to it. This character is always like very young, very youthful, so I want to add in like little beret. I was also really thinking about, I forget her name now, I'll put it here, but one of the girls in And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, and like the scene where she is riding on the train to go to the little island mansion. So I have this wool cape that I thrifted from, the tag is Zara. I thrifted it in Miami. The hat, it was a Christmas gift. I don't know where it's from. But I feel like I love a wool cape. This thing is so warm and really just adds in like a little bit of spice to the outfit and like a little bit of spookiness, because you can do like the hood, go around with the lanterns. And then for shoes, I was very much inspired by this Pinterest photo. So I have these Mary Jane heels that I thrifted, and then these socks that I genuinely don't know where they're from. I've had them since high school and I'm 26, so that's kind of gross, but. The next is a personal favorite if you are a Zillennial, which is the hot but damaged vampire victim. This was obviously inspired by the Twilight books, the vampire books, the Vampire Diary books, and Lucy from Bram Stoker's Dracula. She's plain, she lives in a small town, one of her parents are probably dead, and she's definitely not like other girls. But even though she's plain and not popular at school, she's like pornographically hot. You know, she dresses not too femme, not too mask, maybe a little bit tomboy. There's something special about her that makes her stick out from the other humans. Maybe you can't read her thoughts. Maybe her smell is super strong. Maybe she is a doppelganger, but there's something that differentiates her from all the other girls at school. She definitely has a dead family member. Death kind of follows her around. Again, think of like Bella Swan. Think of Elena Gilbert. These are just sort of, why do all these bad things happen to me? And like, why does every single guy that meets me fall in love with me? My life is like really hard. Ugh. And she's constantly in danger because of the men that she loves. Okay, so this is my take on like Bella Swan, Elena Gilbert. I know they don't wear mom jeans, but bootcut jeans look awful on me, so I'm not gonna do bootcut jeans. They are just like basic. I don't have long sleeve, tight Henleys. So if you watched my last video, I can't do long, tight things. I actually am very uncomfortable with topping here, but I have this little like graphic gray tee from a summer camp I went to. I don't know, I thought it was kind of in that vibe, and I just layered it with the black mock neck. This was definitely very much inspired by the baseball scene as well in Twilight, which obviously is iconic. That's sort of what I'm trying to channel. Okay, got that on. I don't have any more Converse. I just stopped wearing Converse, so I don't have them anymore. I have these Adidas, which honestly, I feel like these are too cool for Elena or Bella or this type of hot like, girl that's not like other girls but the vampires love. Like, these are a little bit too cool for that character, but we'll pass. I have this sort of like dad bomber jacket. This was thrifted. The shoes I got for a Christmas present like 5 years ago. I don't know if I said this belt is from Target. But yeah, just sort of like unflattering. I'm not into fashion vibes. And then a hat. This is a little bit more, I feel like Bella. Honestly, I look like Charlie more than anyone in that realm. But this is sort of my take on that, like. The third spooky book trope is the human turned fairy that doesn't need anybody. This was inspired by the Cruel Prince series and the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. She's similar to Damaged but Hot. However, unlike the vampire victim, who just, she's not that strong and she's kind of weak and she needs help from all the men that are in love with her. The human turned fae doesn't need anybody. She's quick, she's skillful, she has been hunting and taking care of herself for years, so she doesn't need you to waltz into her life and start treating her like a pretty princess. She takes care of herself and any family members that she still has. She doesn't come from money. She's sort of a tomboy, but of course, once she puts on a dress for some fairy court, everybody realizes that she is absolutely breathtaking. The only weakness that she has is that she's a human among fairies. Of course, she falls in love with a fairy and begs him, please turn me into a fairy so I can be like you. I hate my stupid, disgusting, mortal life when I can be beautiful like you. That vibe. You guys, if you read fairy smut, you know what I'm talking about. We all do it. Don't even lie. So because she's sort of a huntress, she has to take care of her family. I wanted to put her in like jeans and kind of tactical gear. Like, she is out hunting for deer. She is out trying to do what she can, bartering the skins of the meat that she slaughtered. I don't know. I'm not like that. Okay, this is my human girl that falls in love with a fairy, and it's like tough base. I like ideally would do like cargo pants or something, but these are the most rugged pants that I own. These cords that I thrifted that are originally from Chaps, something like that. This my friend Blair gave to me. It was her mom's. It's like a leather vest, because these characters are also usually hypersexualized, and so I wanted to have something that was like and also they're usually like archers or hunters, and so I wanted to have some armor. Obviously a ponytail because rugged. For jacket, I have this black like Sherpa lined Levi's denim jacket. I'm thinking like if she's out in the woods, she's cold, she needs something tough. Maybe this is the jacket of her like dead siblings or something. And then to complete the not like other girls, human girl turned fairy, I got my Doc Marten platforms. Oh, this jacket I thrifted from ThredUp. These I got new. Like I wanted like really tough textures for like a huntress that's out in the woods fighting the fairies. Definitely inspired by Katniss Everdeen and like Jude from the Cruel Prince series. The fourth book trope that I wanted to kind of make an outfit out of was the aspiring alchemist. This is very much inspired by the A Discovery of Witches series, which I've read 2 out of the 3 books so far, and A Far Wilder Magic. I love books that have to do with alchemy. They're very dark academia inspired. She's one of the only women in the alchemist field. She comes from a long line of alchemists, but none of her colleagues take her seriously because she doesn't go by the book. Maybe she does more spiritual, ritualistic, pagan-like alchemy rather than going to the fancy practicing schools. She's always reading old, dusty alchemic books rather than the brand new textbooks that all the other rich kids are learning from. And her experimental learning, of course, leads her to a discovery that can change the world forever. So I want to do something very professorial, very dark academia, an outfit that you can spend the entire day musing over old texts in, a little bit beat up. You know, alchemists, professors, they don't make a lot of money, so they want to dress academic, but sort of in a sloppy way. Always has their head in a book, definitely has to have a bag of some sort to carry her books around, maybe coffee stained on her shirt. She's trying to find the real truth of alchemy, not the commodified alchemy that it's become. Alrighty, this is the start of my aspiring alchemist look. I got this eyelid top that is from, that I thrifted in Sweden. These are from Jerf Avenue. I did get them new. So obviously we need a sweater vest. This one I thrifted. The tag is Joseph Abad. I don't know. It has had a stain on it since I got it, and I never know if I should get rid of it or not, but here we are. Marnie, you gotta poop now? Okay, that scratching is my cat using her litter box. Then to finish it off, I have some sensible loafers that are my mom's, or they were my mom's, by the brand Eastland. They're like kind of orthopedic, but they're very comfortable. And they're simple black loafers. If you would have, my high school like demanded that we wore penny loafers, and if you were to tell 15-year-old Dion that I'd be voluntarily wearing penny loafers in my adult life, she would have been really weirded out. I like that it doesn't have a collar because part of this fictional book character's storyline is that like she's a woman, alchemist, woman in the academic field, and men are awful. This I also thrifted. Tag is Barrington, or at least that's what it says on the inside. And it has like cute little elbow patches. Yeah. Ooh, this is really cute. Oh my god, go me. So number 5 is the witch who just wants to be human. She just wants to be a normal girl. This is very much inspired by the Practical Magic series and the book The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. I read Practical Magic, and I'm not gonna lie, didn't really like it at all, by Alice Hoffman. Not my style, didn't like the movie either. Love The Year of the Witching, but this is a common trope among witchy characters. We see this in Marnie Cromwell a little bit, even though she really wanted to be a witch. But basically, she just wants to be a normal girl, but her magical powers keep popping up and people are starting to notice. In chemistry class, her thing turned into a frog or whatever. But it turns out she happens to be from a special line of witches, the most powerful of their kind. And the world is gonna need her power in order to save everything that we know. So this is a girl who's trying to blend in as human, but is secretly kind of witchy. And her witchiness pops out, not only in magic, but through her clothes. Okay, so this is my teenage witch that wants to deny her magical powers and just be a normal girl. But of course they always dress kind of witchy, right? So I'm taking a lot of inspiration from Sabrina Spellman, from the original Sabrina the Teenage Witch, a little bit Marnie Cromwell, a little bit The Craft, very whimsigoth. So I have this top that is from a store in Newport, Rhode Island called Passage to India. I have this little bandana that has a mushroom on it that I thrifted because herbs, I feel like it's very witchy. This is another Eddie Bauer wool skirt that I thrifted. And then what is more witchy than long skirt with boots? So I wanted to pair them with boots because I wanted to really drive across the witchy vibe. JJ. So I really wanted to channel like a whimsy goth aspect of it, where she's trying to look like a normal girl, but you can tell that she's a freak. Freak, she gets bullied at school. Freak, witch, Number 6 is The New Girl in Town with a Dark Past. Books that inspired this are like Safe Haven by Nicholas Sparks, again, practical magic, Burning Girls, and Meddling Kids. She just wants to start over, but word of what happened in her old town starts to get around. Maybe she killed someone, but it was probably justified, or maybe she was framed, or maybe it was an accident. And her past keeps coming back to haunt her in her new life, and she has to make a choice. Move on or face it head on. This is sort of similar to The Witch, where she's trying to look human, she's trying to conceal herself. Maybe she's a murderer, so she's just trying to blend in, change her hair, change her makeup, change her name, and tries to make sure that these hidden messages saying, I know you did it, I know what you did last summer, keeps coming around. Very much that aspect too. I know what you did last summer. Very Neve Campbell in the third movie, third Scream, where she goes out into like the woods. Yeah, all about just, I'm trying to run away from this murderous past where people get hurt and people get killed, and I am just trying to start over and pretend like I'm a new person. Okay, so they did start like leaf blowing outside. It is what it is. This is my base for the new girl in town with a dark past. Maybe she killed her boyfriend. Maybe it was on purpose. She's a femme fatale. Maybe it was an accident. She's just trying to clear her name. Maybe she's running away from an abusive relationship, like in Safe Haven. But these are for those mystery girl protagonists. Top and bottom are both Durf Avenue. If you've noticed, I wear a lot of Durf Avenue. They're just great pieces, sustainable. I just like investing in nice pieces. I wear this outfit all the time. But I wanted something nondescript because she's on the run, she's on the go, and so we can't have something, we don't want anything recognizable or noticeable. The next thing I got was a coat. I'm thinking she's on the run, she's on the go, she's like trying to be incognito. This coat is actually my Aunt Anne's. She bought it in 1967 with her own money. She saved up. So very beautiful, love it. But yeah, I feel like this is a good, just cool, hot girl. The fur is like, ooh, maybe she's saucy, maybe she did kill her boyfriend, maybe she used that money to buy this fur coat. Maybe, you know, it was a new disguise because she's running away, who knows? Following with that theme, I'm re-wearing my loafers. I was gonna do my clogs, it was a little bit too Penny Lane 270s. And again, we want to be as nondescript as possible. So I just wanted, my sneakers have colors on them. My Doc Martens are giant platforms. I wanted something that nobody would remember and nobody thinks twice about, because that's the character, right? She's new, she's running away, she has a dark past. So I wanted something just as nondescript as possible. So I literally put everything black and brown on in my closet. I lost my sunglasses, but I would be wearing like black sunglasses with this. Yeah, she's dark, she's mysterious, she's on the run. Number 7, the last one I have for you guys, is the Halloween obsessed girl who summons the dark. This is very much inspired by Goosebumps books. I loved the Goosebumps growing up, and the book Scritch Scratch, the Graveyard book as well. Maybe they see ghosts, maybe they see dead people. I also think of the movie The Haunting Hour with Emily Osment, that Goosebumps movie, or The Evil Thing, something like that. I think of The Craft. I think of Allison from Hocus Pocus. These people that are so obsessed with the occult, the darkness, the witchiness, etc., that they end up summoning it probably on Halloween night. She's kind of goth, maybe she's a loner, and she knows the history of every single Halloween thing, always is raising her hand, always wants to answer any occult Halloween questions. She starts to look into an old magic book and spooky things start to happen. Luckily, the weird girl knows enough about spooky things to help fight the evil that is terrorizing her town. The Haunting Hour is one of my favorite movies to watch. Like every year, I remember seeing it the year it came out on Disney Channel, like Halloween night. And I just thought, or maybe it was Cartoon Network, and I loved it. I was like, I just love Goosebumps in general. So this was very much inspired by like Goosebumps characters. I cannot believe they're leaf blowing and like gardening right now. So this is my base for the girl that's obsessed with Halloween. I don't have, the only black pants that I have are what you just saw, and like silky black pants isn't very like goth Halloween obsessed. So I just went with these like ripped Levi high looses that I got on Poshmark. This is Nightmare Before Tex-Mex Chewy's shirt. I really liked it, and I used to live in Texas and I love Chewy. And I wanted something like a little bit alternative. I don't have a lot of like gothy things, so I'm taking like Emily Osment's character in The Haunting Hour, Marnie Cromwell, I'm thinking Scratch Scratch, I'm thinking The Graveyard Book, I'm thinking middle grade, obsessed with Halloween. She knows everything there is to know about Halloween, but look at that. She ends up summoning the darkness, or the darkness comes, but because of her knowledge of Halloween, she saves the day. That's the vibe. So I also have this Halloween sweater that I got on Poshmark. The tag is Eagle's Eye. Big fan of their work. They really make excellent art. And she's a little goth. I have this chain belt. Also, like, she's alt. She's different. Maybe she gets made fun of for being weird. That kind of vibe. Sees ghosts. She's an outcast. So you gotta have like a silver chain belt and dark lipstick to drive that point home. And this chain belt was also from my aunt. She saves like everything, and her mother-in-law passed recently, so she just gave me like everything that was her mother-in-law's from like the 60s, and she has kept everything since like her childhood in the 60s. So that's where, when I keep saying my aunt, that's what I mean. And then what's an alternative girl without her docs? I also don't have any black shoes except for my Jordans, and I don't feel like a Halloween obsessed girl would be wearing Jordans. I feel like she'd be wearing platform docs. All right, this is my final form as like the Halloween obsessed freak. I wish I had different jeans. That's the only thing. I just think I don't have any bottoms to go with this vibe really. All right, and with that, I hope you guys enjoy. All of the books that I mentioned in this video, I've actually read, and I do little like mini book reviews over on my Instagram, and I categorize it by like books I'm reading in 2022, and then like spooky books from last year, spooky books from this year. So if you want to know more about the books that I mentioned, go check out my Instagram and look through my highlight reels so you can sort of see more about all the spooky books that I love. I absolutely love getting into the autumn season and reading tons of books. And dressing as these little character book tropes are so fun. I actually have a similar video coming up that is like horror movie tropes, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be kind of similar, but it's going to be more focused on the horror movie genre. So that'll be really fun. Thank you again to Zav for like commenting and suggesting this video, and shout out to Gelsey Blythe for sort of coming up with this idea. It was really fun. Definitely check out her video as well. And yeah, subscribe to my channel. I post videos every Thursday. Leave a comment down below what other spooky themed videos you'd like to see. And don't forget, I'm still taking submissions for Halloween costume dilemmas. That is going on until October 9th. So you have a little bit over a week to submit your costume dilemmas. I'm gonna gather some of the best ones, and I'm gonna really put some thought into it and give each dilemma that I discuss in a video probably like 4 or 5 costumes, so you guys have a lot of choices. I'm gonna create mood boards and stuff, so if I got back to you with costume ideas and you're thinking like, don't worry, the video is gonna go into more detail, and I'm gonna try to respond to as many people as I can. So yeah, definitely look out for that video. That will come out like October 13th, but you still have until October 9th to DM me your costume dilemma, and I'm happy to help you out. Whether it becomes in the video or not, I'm happy to respond. Tell me what you're looking for, what kind of vibe you're going for this year, and I will definitely help you. I absolutely love helping people with Halloween costumes. All right, and with that, have a happy day. Bye guys.